Yes, this is still your dial of champion, SearchFM 92.3. Tori is my name, and this is The Morning Right. Now, earlier on during the show, I mentioned that there will be an interview with quite an interesting group of people, and, as always, we have the best promised for you right here on your number one campus radio. Now we're going to be getting into the conversations, but first let me introduce the people that are with me in the studio, because it's not just me, and I enjoy having a lot more people than just me in the studio, and I'm sure you enjoy it as well. So first of all, we have Emmanuel Jibogun. I feel like at the end of the show I'll now talk about how we kind of know each other, but good morning, how are you doing? All right, so to get into the conversation like pretty quickly without wasting any much time, so what is B³C? Because it feels like a very strange name when you're saying it's B then 3 up and then C. So what is B³C?
B³C is actually the acronym for Business and Brand Building Conference. So the B³ is Business and Brand Building, then the C is the conference. So I think I would like to rather just start by saying what B³C is not.
Okay.
So B³C is not just another conference, it's not another event, it's not just something to put people together and snap pictures and say hi's and then we go back. It's actually born from a passion, a desire to see big things come from a small place. So there's something one of my mentors, Professor Caroline, will always say. She's director of Entrepreneurship Center. She would say that every change you want to see can start with you, and big things can actually come from a small place if you decide to be that change. And she also always keeps emphasizing that it has to start from you, and the fact that you should take responsibility. This is your city, this is your campus, this is your state, this is your country. So anything you would want to see should start from you. So that's what birthed this conference, and it's a putting together of entrepreneurs, of business owners, of founders, business managers, investors, all these guys all in one room. It's a strategy session, it's a growth session. Trust me, it's a mind-blowing experience that no one would want to miss.
Alright, so is it only because you've emphasized on like the business is for a business people, for businesses? Is it only for businesses?
Right, so it's a general idea that business is just trading, but I feel that's very wrong, because everyone is a business owner, everyone is building a brand. That's why it's business and brand. So even if you're a teacher, it's also a brand, it's a business. Even if you're a doctor, it's also a brand, a business, because you all need customers. They are selling something. Everyone is selling something. Even if you're just a social media personality, you are selling something. So it's actually for every person that wants to get an audience, that wants to sell either himself or his products or his services.
Alright, so how important is branding for a business or for a person?
Really, branding is everything, because a brand is what people say about you when you're not there. It's what the perception people have about you, even without you saying a word. It's the message, it's everything for you. So if you miss it at branding, everything at all you're doing falls on the wrong side.
Alright, now so moving on from you, since you're not the only person I have in the house, but thank you for that. I really like that brand is what people say about you when you're not there, because that really is what a brand is. Yeah. So moving to Kizito, right? So why should an FUT student or staff be interested in B³C?
Okay, that's quite an interesting question. I think I can trace this to as far back as my primary school. I remember clearly when we were being taught about the 6334 academic system, and majorly we're taught that you have to spend 6 years in primary school, and then 3 years in junior secondary, 3 years in senior secondary, and 4 years in the university.
Or 5 years.
7 years.
Or 10.
And so I think sitting on that seat as young as I was just thinking, so I have to wait this long to be successful. 6, 3, 12. 4,
and then
16 years. So you are telling me I need 16 years to become successful. Well, you would say at that stage I could accept that. And then I started hearing of people like Bill Gates. I started hearing of people who did not wait 16 years. And I'm like, they lied. They lied to us. You're hearing of 11 years gamers, YouTubers who are making millions of dollars.
And they didn't have to wait 16 years.
And they didn't have to wait 16 years. And I was like, does it mean that we are starting late at this thing? Could there be a way we could get a head start in life? Because it seems to be some people have access to information that's kind of giving them an unfair advantage, an unfair head start. And meanwhile, we are all trying to play catch up. And catch up in Africa is SS1, catch up is SS2.
Sometimes people say that in Africa you're already behind, so you are still playing catch up while you are behind again.
So for a long time we are playing the catch up game. And you will get to see people who finish from university and go outside to do their masters, and they'll tell us the same thing, that some of the things they are struggling to grasp outside there, the guys outside there are just like, they are not even reading to pass the exams. And you see in Nigeria, and that's why you see when we go out there, we do far better than all of them, because we put in 10 times the effort. And this is because the things they were doing in grade 1 were the things we were doing in SS1, SS2. So it seemed to me that Nigerians are almost always coming to the table late. A conference like this, coming to students, is basically giving you a head start. You are going to be learning about branding before you come out of school. We are not telling you to finish 16 years of your life, then you start life again. Because it's almost as if you come out of the university and you're just starting this thing, because you are like a virgin. You are stepping out and you are like, no one told me it's going to be this. No one told me it's going to be this thick. It's going to be this tough. Having a conference like this and getting minds like Akin Thompson, getting minds like Professor Caroline, and getting all of these minds in one room, what you are basically doing is that you are feeding off experience. You are feeding off things that would necessarily have given you a back place in life. You are learning branding. So imagine from your IT, you're already going and branding yourself. Imagine as a 100 level student, you begin branding yourself from 100 level. Before you get to 400 level, you are still a student, but you're already established as an authority in a particular space. Because I discovered that everyone that's doing big things started doing them early, especially in the campus. So I really think it's an important, it's one of those lifetime events that as a student you do not afford to miss. And for the staff, it's the same thing. I mean, an average student knows that you know better than your teachers, right? It's like, how many staffs know about branding? How many lecturers know about branding?
You'll be surprised. You'll be very surprised how many know about it.
So I feel like it's equally important for staff to be part of this, because in the generation that we are in, everyone is a student. Whether you bear the title of prof or the title of assistant prof, everyone is learning. The rate at which things are changing makes every single person a student. You're just a student at a level. Thank you.
You're a student of life.
Yes.
So you talked about the table, getting there early. So now that we are going to be at the table, I have a question for you, Samuel. Now, what are we supposed to expect from this particular conference? Because now I'm very, very hyped for this, business and branding conference.
Thank you very much for that question. A few things to expect are clarity on the joint. So we're talking about branding. I think it's a key aspect of those who intend to build anything, business, their lives, relationships with people, and accelerating life, especially in the country that we find ourselves and in Niger State. There's been a saying about Nigeria, and especially Niger, that naturally we are just behind.
Not in the I feel like that's a saying I hear about Nigeria.
Yes. I've been on different tables, even with the government, and it's one thing, and we're trying.